My name is Kamiar, and today I want to talk about 3 tips that helped me build muscle really fast. The first thing I want to talk about is choosing the right exercise program and choosing the right rep range. When I was 17 years old, I would kind of hop around many training programs, and the one that worked best for me and the one that even today gives me the most results is the one that focuses on like the lower rep range or just getting like strong. I tried the workout programs that has you do like 12 to 15 reps or even 20 to 25 reps. But over my experience, the best results I got was doing the program that had me do around 4 to 6 reps or maybe even 6 to 8 reps. Somewhere in that range is what gave me the most results, because what I found is to build muscle really fast is you need to apply progressive overload and overall mechanical tension. And the way that you do that, the way that you challenge your muscle is by getting stronger over time. So you lifting like more weight but for less reps allows you to build more muscle because you're applying this rule of progressive overload way easier. Because it's way easier to do 4 to 6 reps than it is to do like 20 to 25 reps. So when you are progressively just getting stronger over time and just lifting heavier and heavier and heavier, you're gonna find that your body is gonna change really fucking quick and you're gonna get more growth out of that. So what I recommend is when you're choosing an exercise program, look for one that applies this principle of just like lower rep ranges and try it for 90 days and see what works best for you. But with me and with other people that I have just talked to and overall like worked out with, lower rep ranges is one of the best methods to overall get muscle really quick, especially when you're fucking new to weightlifting. Now, the second thing that helped me build the most amount of muscle really quick is eating in a slight caloric surplus. When I was in high school, my coach was telling me to eat as much food as possible to gain weight because I was a really skinny guy and I was kind of tired of the way I looked and I wanted to pack on as much muscle as I possibly could. And it's weird because every single community, like high school coaches or bodybuilding communities, they say to eat big to get big. Eat as much fucking food as you can to pack on as much muscle. And I don't really agree with that approach anymore, because my whole goal when it came to like building muscle is I wanted just to look good. I wanted to look as best as possible, as attractive as possible, as good looking as possible. And when I started to like eat big to get big, meaning eat everything I saw, drink a ton of shakes, slam a fucking big bowl of pasta, I did pack on muscle. But however, the cost of that is I packed on a lot of body fat with that. And yeah, cool, you look bigger, but you also look fluffier. I didn't like look lean, and it wasn't like the type of body that I wanted. But the thing is, it's not really it was my fault, but I just didn't know. I didn't know at the time that like you pack on a lot more body fat when you're in a huge caloric surplus. So today, for the past 2 years, I've been eating in a slight caloric surplus, meaning you just eat like 10% more than your maintenance calories. So let's say your maintenance calories is 2,500 calories, meaning if you eat that much food, if you eat 2,500 calories, you won't lose and you won't gain weight. So that's your maintenance. However, if you eat just 10% above that number, I mean even like 150 calories above that, that's what I mean by a caloric surplus. And you will build the most amount of muscle in a slight caloric surplus. In fact, you are gonna build the maximum amount that you can in that caloric surplus. You won't gain more muscle if you're in a 20 or even a 30% caloric surplus. You're just gonna gain excess fat. However, when you're in a slight caloric surplus, you are gonna be gaining as much muscle as you possibly can while minimizing how much fat you gain. And this is what's called lean bulking. And it's actually way easier to do than just slamming as much food as possible. So yeah, the weight on the scale might slowly be going up, but that's okay because the weight on the scale doesn't matter as much as the way you fucking look in the mirror. So if you care about like looking as good as possible year round and building muscle while staying lean, then this is the approach that you have to try. Because when I do this, and I still do it today, it's way fucking, you look way better, you pack on muscle faster, and you don't have to be in a cut longer than like maybe a month or two when you're doing it in this approach. And again, you can bulk longer when you're doing this approach. So again, be in a slight caloric surplus. I made a free ChatGPT AI tool that's gonna help you determine how many calories you have to eat to be in a slight caloric surplus. And I will link that in the description below, and it can also help you make a meal plan as well. So let's get to the third tip. The last tip that I have for you to build muscle as fast as possible, and again, that helped me the most to build as much muscle as I possibly can, is stop ego lifting. When I was 17 at the time, and I remember I had 275 pounds on a squat bar, and I was telling my friend to record me lifting this for my PR because that was a lot of weight for me. And when I did it, I thought that I went low enough, and my friend even told me I went low enough when I was doing that squat bar. And then a few days later, I showed that video to my brother because I wanted to show him that I did it. I wanted him to be proud of me that I did it. And as he was looking at the video of me squatting 275 pounds, he was like, dude, you did not go low enough. Like, that was not a squat. And I remember how pissed off I was because I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, I did it right. Like, this is a squat. This is a squat. And now I'm looking back, I didn't do it. And I'm glad he told me that because that wasn't a full squat. And even then, it was kind of cheating because that was too heavy and I didn't go low enough. However, when I was stopped focusing on ego lifting and trying to lift as heavy as possible and sacrificing my form, and I started focusing more on tempo, like good form, going slower, like actually focusing on the movement, damaging my muscle. That is, again, when my results fucking skyrocketed and I looked better throughout the months of me doing that. So when you're maybe new to weightlifting, you may have like this ideation of like, because you are gonna progress really fast. When you're new to weightlifting, you are gonna be lifting so much weight. You're gonna get strong really fast. You're gonna be packing on muscle really fast. So you may be thinking like, oh, I need to go really heavy, or I'm doing really well. Let's go heavier, heavier, heavier. However, do not make this mistake because as you keep going heavy, you may be sacrificing your form, and you may be just not getting the results that you want if you're doing it that way. So don't sacrifice your form. Find the weight and make sure you're doing it in the like right tempo where it's like going slowly down and slowly up, and actually have good form doing it. And I'm me ego lifting when I was 18 with benching. I actually hurt my shoulder doing that, so I actually got injured because of me ego lifting. So there is no positive way of there's no like positive outcomes of you doing that. So don't sacrifice your form. Don't ego lift. Who gives a shit? Like if you're comparing your weight with your friend, you are at the gym to look better, to look as good as possible. So if you're doing fucking 75 pounds on bench, that's fine. Do it to the best of your capability and do it slower and do it the right way. And you will get much better results of you doing it that way than some dude that's just fucking pounding the bar with horrible form. So those are 3 tips I have for you that helped me build the most amount of muscle in my own personal experience. And if you want to give it a try, give it a try. Give it 90 days and see what happens. So thank you for watching this video. And again, I will have that free GPT in the description if you want to try it for yourself. And I'll see you guys in the next one.